Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to compare two mid-range phones, the new Coolpad Cool one with the Moto M. So the Coolpad Cool one is priced 13,999 while we have the Moto M priced at 15,999. So there is a price difference of almost 2k between these two devices. So there are a lot of differences and there are some similarities between these two phones. So in this video we'll compare all those aspects and see which is the better value for money device, and we'll also list out the pros and cons of these two phones. So without any further delay, let's get started. First step, the design and the build quality. So design and build quality looks pretty good on both these phones. We have a metallic unibody construction with matte finish on the rear panel. Even the camera unit looks almost similar in terms of the design. We have a dual camera on the Cool one while it's a single 16 megapixel camera on the Moto M, and we also have a fingerprint scanner located on the rear panel as well. Now on the front panel we have three capacitive touch buttons on the Cool one while it's on-screen buttons on the Moto M. Now we also have a front facing 8 megapixel camera on both the phones. Up front we also have 5.5 inches full HD display. You can see that both these devices are pretty premium and with chamfered edges and looks pretty good as well. So we would leave it to our viewers to decide which is the better looking device out there. We are equally impressed with the build quality offered by both these phones. Now let's talk about the display. So here we have a 5.5 inch screen size and a full HD panel, that's a 1080p panel, and the viewing angles and the color quality of the display looks really good on both the phones. The touch response also feels pretty smooth on both the phones. But having said that, the display brightness looks much better on the Moto M. The display brightness is definitely one of the issues with the Cool one. The display brightness is not that great, especially when you go outdoors. The Cool one will have some difficulty in reading the text, while on the other hand the Moto M has pretty good brightness levels. So in terms of the display experience, we would give it to the Moto M. Now let's talk about the software and the performance. So this is one area where these two devices differ a lot. While the underlying software is Android 6.0 Marshmallow on both the phones, there are lots of differences. So first let's talk about the Cool one. So this has the EUI 5.8. So if you have used a Lyco device previously, you might be already knowing the the EUI, which comes with multiple home screens, and it also has this unique multitasking and the quick toggles arranged into a single interface. And if you go to the settings panel, again it's a customized settings panel, and it does come with a decent amount of features also included. There is support for themes, and you can also see there is a phone manager app which allows you to optimize the device. There is a remote control which allows you to control TV and air conditioner, because it has an IR blaster included in this device. So these are some of the added features included in the device. The software feels quite decent. It's not a feature rich software because it doesn't offer as many tools or features like the Xiaomi's MIUI, but it's a custom UI which allows some basic customizations. Now talking about the software on the Moto M, so this is the stock UI which does not come with any bloatwares included. It's a basic UI except for the Microsoft apps included. It's a plain UI, a stock experience. The notification center and the quick toggles are exactly the stock interface. If you go to the settings, again it's a pretty plain stock UI. So if you are a person who is very much concerned about the software, then the Moto E makes perfect sense, because this will be getting the Android 7.0 update, and this has a pretty plain UI and pretty easy to use as well. So that's one advantage for the Moto M, and both the softwares are pretty good. It's a personal choice whether you want a customized one, then go for EUI. If you want a plain stock Android and you're concerned about the Android upgrades, then Moto M is a better choice here. Now talking about the performance, so we have the Snapdragon 652 octa-core chipset coupled with 4 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of storage on the Cool one, while we have this MediaTek Helio P15 octa-core chipset coupled with 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of storage on the Moto M. There's also a 4 GB RAM variant which comes with 64 GB storage, so that's even priced higher. So we are comparing the 3 GB RAM with this device. In terms of day-to-day experience, both these devices are really powerful devices and it does the job pretty well, but we would give to the Cool one for the amazing Snapdragon 652 octa-core chipset, which outperforms this Helio P15 octa-core chipset, and the overall performance looks really good on the Cool one. Now the gaming experience is again better on the Cool one, but the Cool one has this issue of heating, so it goes up to 54 degrees when you play heavy intensive games. So apart from that, if you are okay with the heating part, the gaming experience definitely is better on the Cool one, while the Moto M struggles with a gaming experience, not that great. So that was the gaming and the performance aspect of these two phones, and we would give it to the Cool one for the amazing performance. Now both these phones have dual SIM cards for GLTE and VoLTE support. Additionally, the Moto M supports micro SD card where you can expand the storage, but that's missing on the Cool one. Now let's talk about the fingerprint scanner. So we have a fingerprint scanner on both rear panel, and both the phones can unlock the device in a really quick time without any lag or issues, and the fingerprint scanner experience is really good on both the phones. So that was a fingerprint scanner. Now additionally, if you look at the speaker performance, we would say the Moto M has an advantage here because it has the Dolby Atmos support, and with that you can get better music output in the speakers as also in the earphones. So in terms of speaker experience, it's the Moto M. Now call quality on both these devices were equally good. Now next up, let's talk about the camera. So this is one of the very interesting aspects about this comparison, the dual 13 megapixel camera with the 16 megapixel camera of the Moto M. So here we have f2.0 aperture with dual tone dual LED flash and face detection autofocus, and here we have a 16 megapixel shooter with a dual tone dual LED flash and face detection autofocus. Now camera interface is pretty simple on the Moto M. It's a Lenovo's interface, and you can see some decent options also included, but on the Coolpad Cool one, the options in the camera interface is much higher than what is being offered on the Moto M. Now we also have a front facing 8 megapixel camera on both the phones. Now having a look at the camera samples taken between these two devices, this is one area where it's really tough to decide which is the better device out there, because you can see the camera samples taken with Coolpad Cool one and the Moto M looks almost similar, not a big difference, but the Moto M saturates photo in some of the close-up shots, but the Coolpad Cool one performs really well in that aspect. So so it's a mixed bag. In some photos, Moto M did have slightly better sharpness levels than the Cool one. So in terms of the daylight experience, we would say both are equally good, and there's no clear winner in the daylight experience. But when it comes to low light, that's where the Coolpad Cool one outperforms the Moto M in terms of the low light experience. With dual camera, the noise is almost reduced, and it's much more better photo clarity than the the Moto M. So in terms of the overall camera experience, because of the superior low light experience, we would give it to the Coolpad Cool one in terms of the camera experience. Now selfie camera, again both are quite good selfie cameras and does the job pretty well for social shares. Now additionally, the Coolpad Cool one also supports 4K recording, so that's an added feature which is not available on the Moto M. So it's a tough job deciding the camera, but still we would give it to the Coolpad Cool one. Now finally, talking about the battery. So we have a 4000 mAh battery on the Coolpad Cool one, while we have a 3075 mAh battery on the Moto M. Now without doubt, the Coolpad Cool one definitely is a better choice in terms of the battery experience, because with an additional 1000 mAh battery, you can also almost get 1.5 days of battery life. And both these devices have USB-C type ports with fast charging included. So now we have compared almost all aspects about these two phones. So which is a better device to buy here? The Coolpad Cool one has a really good design, amazing performance with the Snapdragon 652, and we have 4 gigs of RAM, amazing cameras, excellent battery life, and the pricing is also low. For the Moto M, we would say the software is really good, and there are promised upgrades to Android 7.0. The design and build quality also looks good. The display is good, and the cameras are also quite good. Now the pricing is again 2K higher than the Coolpad Cool one. Now added feature for the Moto M is that there is micro SD card expansion slot. If you're not really concerned about the micro SD card expansion slot and also the latest upgrades, we would suggest the Coolpad Cool one for the really good Snapdragon 652 and 4 gigs of RAM with a dual camera setup. Now if you're really particular about the latest Android upgrades, then without doubt it's a Moto M. So that was a detailed comparison of these two phones. So hope you like this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day. Hope to see you in our next video.